Hello everybody. So this is a session recorded for Sanjay Gudawat finishing school online certification workshop, and this is our second session for our personal grooming class. So in our first session we saw all about skin. Why do we need to use a sun protection factor or a SPF in our daily basis, and how UVA and UVB rays tend to damage our skin. So that is what we have learned in the previous session. In our second session today, we are going to learn everything about hair care. So what is hair care? As we have seen in the last session, the hair is located in the second layer of the skin, which is the dermis layer of the skin. And along with hair, we also have a veins and arteries over there, which does the blood supply to our entire body. So how this hair works, and how can we take good care of hair, so that is what we are going to learn in this session. So let's start with it. So the structure of the hair, like I told you, there are sweat glands and oil glands are also present under the layers of the skin, which excrete the oil, which is known as sebum, and the sweat out of the body in order to regulate the body temperature, in order to keep the skin hydrated, to give its natural nourishment. The oil, the sebum and the sweat, when they come together, they form a natural barrier on the skin. They form an acid mantle on the skin, which is a natural moisturizer of the skin. So in case of hair, the same thing is happening. From the hair follicles, the sweat and the oil is coming out on the scalp, and that is why every 2 days most of us tend to have a oily scalp. And so if we don't wash our scalp for a longer time, it it tends to look oily. So all the dirt and dust is accumulated, the sweat and the sebum has accumulated together, and it starts looking oily. So that's how the structure of the hair works. So let's go to see. As I had told you, the hair which is seen to the eyes, or which is at the upper surface of our skin, is known as the hair shaft, whereas the hair which is deep rooted into the skin, it is known as the hair follicle and the hair bulb. So the oil gland is attached to the hair follicle, and the sweat glands is also a part which is there present, we can see in the picture. After that, we have our arteries and veins, as I had explained it last time. Moving forward, we are going to learn about the hair growth cycle. So now, what is an hair growth cycle? Our hair undergoes a hair growth cycle, which is known as anagen, catagen, and telogen. So what is this anagen, catagen, and telogen? So now, as a baby is born, so there's a time that he's born. It takes time for him to grow. It takes time for him to get into a teenage. It takes time for him to come into his old age. And then finally, a person who has took birth comes to the last stage of his life, and then that person is died. In the same manner, our hair also takes birth, it lives its life, and then when it comes to the last stage of the hair growth cycle, it sheds off from our scalp. But what happens over here is, in the anagen stage, if you can see, the hair, okay, there is something known as dermal papilla over there, we can see. So this dermal papilla is something that encourages the hair growth, that encourages the new hairs, that encourages our hair growth. So if you can see in the first picture, in the anagen stage, where the hair has took birth, and it is completely attached to the dermal papilla. That means it is getting all the nutrients and all the necessary vitamins, which is required for the hair to grow. But when we see it into the catagen stage over here, that's where we see it is moving little ahead or far from the dermal papilla. That means now there is a gap between the hair bulb and the dermal papilla. So here the necessary nutrients that is required for the hair is not been provided. It is, that's why, moving forward and far away from this dermal papilla. So this is the catagen stage where the hair follicle is separated from the papilla. When we see in the telogen stage over here, the hair has completely lost its contact with the dermal papilla and is standing on itself over there. So in this telogen stage, as the hair is not getting any required nutrients from the hair root or the hair follicle, it has now come to a stage where it is going to shed off, because it has left the roots. A tree once removed from its roots cannot stand, it falls down, right? In the same manner it happens over here. So when we see, the hair has completed the anagen stage, the catagen stage, the telogen stage, and when the hair has shed out, again there is a regeneration of a new hair, which we say return to the anagen stage. That means a new hair again has started developing in the hair bulb over there, and we can see in the early anagen stage there is a small hair root over there which is taking birth right now, and the old hair which was there is shedding off. And then from the early anagen stage, again the hair comes to the catagen stage, and then again anagen stage, and then again to the catagen stage, then to the telogen stage, and the circle keeps on rotating. So this is the hair growth cycle that our hair undergoes every single day. So around 100 hair fall per day is completely fine and acceptable. If it is more than that, then you should surely go and visit your dermatologist to see what the concern can be. But if you have 100 hair fall every single day, that is okay, because our hair is continuously going through this phase. So some hair which would have been in an anagen stage today will be in a telogen stage some or the other day, and it is going to shed. That is fine. So but if it is more than this, then it is a medical concern. So you need to go and show it to the hair expert or your dermatologist, and get the exact reason checked for your hair loss. Coming again to the hair growth cycle, this is the reason why sometimes of the year we have a lot of hair fall. We see that our hair is just going like anything. Our bathroom is maybe the sink over there is filled with our hair sometimes. Everywhere we see the hair is just falling off. So they understand that this is the time when your hair is in your telogen stage, which is in the stage of shedding off, and it will fall. But then sometimes in the year there is also a time where we do not notice even a single hair fall. Our hair is just flawless at that time. Understand that your hair is in the anagen stage. Most of your hair are in your anagen stage, and that is the reason you're not noticing any hair fall. Apart from this, as I have told you, if there are more than 100 hair fall a day, so please go and show it to your dermatologist. Next, what is the definition of the hair? As I have told you, the hair is a dead keratinized cell. So which is any fine thread-like strand growing from the skin of a human, a mammal or an animal. Hair is made up of tough protein called keratin. So these are the dead keratinized cells. A hair follicle anchors each hair into the skin. The hair bulb forms the base of the hair follicle. In the hair bulb, living cells divide and grow and build the hair shaft. So all the wear and tear, the growth and the shedding of the hair takes place over here in the hair bulb, which is connected to the dermal papilla. Blood vessels nourishes the cells in the hair bulb and deliver hormones that modify hair growth and structure and different times of life. So again, the hormonal part of our life is also very crucial when it comes to hair. You can notice that when we are babies, we do not have lots of hair, but as we move towards the puberty, our hair structure, our hair growth, thickness, and everything changes. But as we start using some products when we come into our teenage, when we get that fantasy of doing something fancy for our hair, and we use all chemicals and all those things, after that again our hair starts shedding off, it starts becoming thin. Even if we do not do any chemical treatment or anything to our hair as such, still our hair as we grow old tends to become thin. So there, the hormonal factor is also very very important when it is referred to hair. A good lifestyle, a good intake of your food, a good exercise routine, and all these things will really help to keep your skin and your hair healthy for a longer time. And that is the only reason we see that these celebrities that we see have flawless skin and have a good hair, because they give a dedicated time for their skin and hair. So we should also, I know it is not possible, but then it is totally recommended to give your time to your hair and skincare routine. So we're going to learn more about hair. So yeah, we have seen the structure of the hair. Again, I'll just revise it for you. There is the epidermis layer, the dermis layer, and the hypodermis, which is the outer, inner, and the fatty layer. So the hair shaft is the visible part of the hair. The hair follicle and the hair bulb is the part which is below your epidermis, the outer layer of the skin. And then you have sweat glands, oil glands, and nerve endings and blood vessels. As the skin does the protection, as the skin performs some functions, similarly hair also performs the same functions like the skin does. So it protects you from the direct sun rays. It helps you in synthesizing vitamin from the sun rays. It helps you in secretion of oil and sweat from the scalp. It helps in absorbing the oil, the mask, or the nutrients that you are providing the scalp with. It absorbs it. It gives you sensation. It helps to regulate your body temperature. It helps in regeneration of new hair. So these are all the functions that the hair does, right according to how a skin does. The function of the hair in our head is to protect us from the UV rays, is to cushion us from any trauma. That means any hurt that we are going to get. It cannot directly go to the scalp, so the hair protects it from that. The hair in our nostrils and our ear canals, our eyelashes prevent any foreign materials getting inside our body. So if we are inhaling something, and if there are particles that are not necessary to be that they should go into our body, so the hair that are there in our nasals or in our nostrils, they help prevent these particles from going inside. So that's what they do. Body hair, as it is said, it gives us sensory detection if it's hot, cold, pain, and all those sensations. Root gives us again the sensation, the sensory nerves, gives us all the movement of the hair. If you have a habit of leaving your hair open and some days you just tie it up and then you open it again, and then you feel that there is pain in a particular area where you had tied. So all these sensations are given by the hair. And then there's something known as erector pili muscles, which is attached to the hair follicle, and it does the work of contraction of the hair. So if you see, when we get cold, when we feel cold, our hair stands, right? So we say those goosebumps are there. So how does this goosebump comes? These erector pili muscles are there, which does all this action of contraction of hair and relaxation of hair. So whenever we feel cold outside, our hair itself, the erector pili muscle informs our hair to warm the skin, and accordingly it happens and the hair stands, and vice versa. When we are feeling warm, the hair follicles share hair the hair follicles excrete the sweat from the body, and which helps us to cool the skin. So that is how it works. So there are two types of hair. One is a vellus hair and the other is a terminal hair. So vellus hair are the hair which are very fine and minute and with their pre-pubertal stage. So kids, children's, and most of us have these vellus hair. So any small hair that is there on our body which is not prominent, like the hair that we have on our cheeks, sometimes in the inner corner of the forearm. So these are hair which are vellus hairs, which are baby hairs, whereas the terminal hair are the adult stage hair, which is which grows after the puberty hits you, right? So when you cross your puberty, you start getting the terminal hair in your underarms. Boys start getting it over the beards, near the mustache area. Even in girls, in case of PCOD or hormonal imbalance, then we see that there's an abnormal hair growth near the oral area, the upper lips or chin and all those area. We find these hairs in the pubic area, on the stomach. So where the hormones are very active after a puberty, that's where we get to see all these terminal hairs, and vellus hairs are the pre-pubertal hairs. So these are present all over the body. So there's something known as texture of hair. So there are four textures of hair: straight, wavy, curly and coily. One person can have two types of hair textures. That is completely fine and acceptable. So one can have a straight hair to the scalp and maybe wavy towards the shaft, curly towards the scalp, coily towards the shaft, or entirely coily, or entirely curly, or entirely wavy, or entirely straight. That's completely fine. So you need to determine what texture does your hair have and what type of hair do you have. Do you have a rough hair type, do you have a dry hair type, or do you have a oily scalp hair types, or you have a dull and damaged hair type? You need to understand the type of your hair also. So how to determine your hair texture? So when you wash your hair, do not blow dry or do not do anything or do not apply anything. Just let it air dry completely. After that, the texture that is there on your hair is the real texture of your hair. So what is a hair care routine? Think of your hair care routine as consisting of the following step. Number one is to brush hair from the bottom to up. So start brushing from your roots and then gradually move upwards towards your scalp. Don't start brushing your or combing your hair from your scalp directly. Before washing your hair, make sure to brush it to get rid of any tangles, because when the hair is wet, it tends to break easily. So if there are tangles over there, the hair will automatically break easily, and then we can notice that there's a lot of hair fall. So you start practicing this, that you comb your hair or you brush your hair before washing it. Regular hair oiling is one of your hair care routine that you have to follow. Wash your hair the right way. That means you have to use your shampoo for your scalp and your conditioner for your shaft and your all the grown hair area. If you use a lot of shampoo to your shafts, it will tend to dry, it will give you split ends, it will break easily, and it will damage your hair. So your shampoo goes to your scalp and your conditioner goes to your shaft. That's the right way of your hair wash. Again, if you're using a very harsh shampoo, I cannot say harsh, but if you're using a very professional kind of a shampoo or any shampoo in that case, I would always suggest you to lather it first in your mug or in a bowl and then put it over your scalp. Do not directly put the shampoo from the bottle on your scalp, because it might be harsh for your scalp and that will dry it more. So that is one of the thing that you need to consider. Drying the hair in a right way. So if you're using a blow dry, there is a particular procedure that you have to hold your dryer and then blow dry it. The best way is to air dry your hair. Do not do this with your towels or your napkins when you're drying your hair, because that creates friction in your hair, because of which your hair starts looking frizzy and then damaged. So do not do that. Use normal cotton t-shirts or towels to just damp your hair, damp it, that's it, and let it air dry completely. And then once it is little damp, apply a serum. A serum works as a sunscreen for hair. So just imagine now how important a serum is for our hair, and how important it is to apply serum to your hair shaft. So when it is little damp, that's when you can go ahead and apply the serum to your hair shaft. It will really help you in a longer term. So know your hair type. What are the things that we need to know to take good care of our hair? So the first thing is you need to know your hair type. What is your hair type? Is it oily? Is it dry? Is it damaged? If it is oily, then you need to go and use a purifying shampoo. If it is damaged, then you need to use a nourishing shampoo, which will help to bind all the damage together. If you have a dry hair, then you need to use a moisturizing shampoo. So you need to check the products before you take. You need to check your hair type, and accordingly you need to go and buy your products. So it is always written on the product that it is for damaged hair, it is for dry and dull hair, it is for oily hair. So oily hair will always have purifying agents in it. So you have to understand what is your hair type and then go and buy the products. Just because someone is giving, just don't go and buy and take it. So one thing I would like to emphasize over here when we're talking about shampoo is, if you have got dandruff, what is dandruff? Dandruff is any fungal infection. Fungal infection happens because if we have not washed our hair for a longer time, that's when we tend to get dandruff. So if there is a normal dandruff in your hair, you can use home care remedies and clear it. So that is fine. You do not need to use a anti-dandruff shampoo for that. But if you have a flaky dandruff which is very visible on your scalp, which is falling all over your clothes, then you surely need to go for an anti-dandruff shampoo. Firstly, you need to go and consult with your dermatologist, and then according to the prescribed shampoo you need to use for your dandruff if you have a flaky dandruff. If you do not have a flaky dandruff, do not use an anti-dandruff shampoo, because what happens, anti-dandruff shampoos are most of the times drying shampoos. If you have ever used anti-dandruff shampoo, after that you will feel that your hair is more dry, and they become very puffy or after a while. So these anti-dandruff shampoos tends to dry your scalp. So if it is recommended by the doctor, he or she will be giving you the right procedure to use it. But if you're just going to go on a counter and buy an anti-dandruff shampoo and use it, then maybe it is going to damage it more. So rather, then if you have a normal dandruff, use some home care DIY for dandruff, like lemon juice or curd, and apply it for a while and rinse it off. It will surely help you to remove the dandruff in a gradual period of time. But do not use harsh anti-dandruff shampoos. That is what I will recommend you. After that, avoid harsh chemical treatments. Until and unless it's not necessary, do not go for harsh chemical treatments. Then trim it on time. Keep a habit of trimming your hair time to time. If you see that there are damaged hair, go ahead and trim it, because only then will your hair look healthy. If you do not want to trim it, then you have to take good care of it. You have to do your hair care routines properly, so that you do not get a damaged hair. But if you feel that your hair is really looking damaged, there's no use of keeping a damaged hair over your scalp and taking care of it. So rather go for a trim. Maybe that will give a better look to your hair. And then learn to comb properly. So as it is said, you need to brush or comb from the roots towards the scalp. Avoid or do a minimal use of heat products like dryers, straighteners, crimpers, curlers. Try and avoid as much as possible But if you are someone who has to use it on a daily basis, then yes, of course, you have to use a heat protectant before using any of the heating tools for your hair. What is a healthy hair regime? So there are three steps. There's a weekly, there's a twice a week, and then there's daily. So first we'll start from daily. What do you need to do daily? You need to keep your hair moisturized, you need to drink a lot of water, you need to intake multivitamins, you need to protect with this satin bonnet. That means nowadays we have learned, or the studies have said, that if you are sleeping on a cotton pillow, or on a cotton pillowcase, then a hair tends to again again get into a friction and become frizzy and break. So it is recommended that we use satin pillow covers while we are sleeping. If during the daytime we have put the cotton pillow covers, that's perfectly fine. Just keep one satin pillow cover so that you can use it at night, and in the morning you can just remove and keep it aside. So protect your hair with satin. And low manipulation styling, that means low manipulation styling means using those buns, twisting your hair regularly. So avoid those things which will lead to the breakage of hair. So avoid these procedures daily. So low manipulation styling is what we need to uh, practice every single day. Yes, if we have a occasion or something, then of course we are going to go ahead and make a beautiful hairstyle. But if not, then just tie it into a ponytail, a loose ponytail, not a tight ponytail. Or just with a clutcher you can just clutch it, or some days you can just leave it so that it can get a breathe time. Then twice a week, what you need to do, there's bi-weekly it is written, that means twice a week you need to do a hot oil treatment, a deep conditioning, and steam. It is compulsory. Okay, so twice a week you need to do this. Hot oil treatment means you do not go and put the oil on the gas flame. You need to take a bigger bowl of hot water, and then you can have a small bowl of your oil, which you can place into this big bowl and let it set, or put a lid and let it set for 2 to 3 minutes, so that the heat that is there in the bigger bowl will heat the oil, and that oil you can go ahead and put it over your scalp. You do not need to boil the oil and then put it over the scalp. No, that's wrong. So hot oil treatment is something that you need to do twice a week. You need to deeply condition. That means when we are regularly washing our hair, what we do, we wash our scalp, we apply the conditioner, we leave it on for 1-2 minutes maximum, or sometimes we even don't, we apply and we rinse it off. It has not even worked on your hair. So give your 15 minutes at least twice a week for your deep conditioning. Apply your conditioner, sit for 15 minutes, let it seep into your hair, let it give it the nutrition that is needed, and then wash it off. So that is what we need to do at least twice a week. Then comes steamer. So if you do not have a steaming cap, which is shown over there, you can use your towel. So if you have a Turkish towel, just dip it into hot water and tie your hair with it when you oil it, or when you've applied mask or something like that, and leave it on for some time. It will do the work of the steamer, and you will really feel relaxed for yourself. So do this every twice a week. Weekly hair care routine. What is a weekly hair care routine? Pre shampoo with a penetrating oil. That means oiling and shampooing. Shampoo and conditioner wash. Style, twist out, braid out. So these are the styles that they have said that weekly we can do. Condition, leave in and rinse out. Leave in means leave for some time, leave your conditioner there on your hair for some time, and then rinse it off. Massage your scalp at least once a week, and then again detangle it properly. Actually detangle has to be done every single day, but then just they have written that at least once a week you have to detangle your hair properly. So every week you have to detangle your hair properly, you have to give a hot oil treatment, you have to apply your conditioner at least for 15 minutes and leave it and then rinse it off. You have to take a steam. And for your daily things, you have to intake good amount of water. You need to use and eat your vitamins properly. You need to keep yourself moisturized and protect yourself with your satin pillow covers, which will be a real savior for you in a longer term. So this is something that I would like to share with you, which I really liked and I use it every single week. You can build your own mask out of this particular thing. So you need to first pick a base product. It can be olive oil, apple cider vinegar, coconut oil, or milk. Then, if you have took a base product, then you can pick any two ingredients out of all these, which is a strawberry, a banana, a avocado, a baking soda, almond oil, mayo, or mayonnaise, or lemon. So any two of these you can just take and mix it with your base, and then any one from the last, which is your protein treatment, which is yogurt or honey or egg. So you can just mix it all together and make a good mask for yourself. So whatever is available at your home, you can take the products accordingly and then make your DIY hair mask and apply it at least once a week. Girls, at least once a week is very important. So go ahead, search for these products, take a base product, take two products from the middle area, and then one product from the proteins, and then make a hydrating mask for yourself and apply it twice a week. Twice a week is recommended, but at least once a week, please. So some 5 hair masks that even I have used and I will recommend you all to use. So for hydration, I will always like to go with curd, coconut oil. Banana is optional. I always go ahead with curd, coconut oil, and aloe vera gel. That is a hydrating mask that you will get. Moisturizing is again avocado, coconut oil, and honey. Then for protein, if you feel that your hair is really damaged, then you can go for a protein treatment, which is your egg, your honey, and then your olive oil. And if you have a frizzy hair and you want to get rid of the frizz, then it can be your oatmeal, it can be your curd, it can be your olive oil. And then if you want deep conditioning, then essential oil, if you have, it's okay. If you do not have, then coconut oil and olive oil, hot oil treatment of coconut oil and olive oil works wonders. I'm just talking about it and I can feel those things on my scalp because I do it every single week. So I can really feel those masks right now. So that is how you need to put yourself into a habit of doing your hair care and your skincare routine, girls. If you have your hair problems like damaged hair, so these are the products that you can use. Any essential oil or oil and egg, whatever oil you have at home. If you have a oily scalp, then you can use honey and lemon. You can just put it for your scalp. If you have a dry scalp, then you can use banana and almond. Now you can see both are very hydrating, so it will give the hydrating effect to your hair. If you have split ends, then go ahead and use aloe vera, olive oil, and yogurt for your split ends. For dandruff, as I just told you in the session, you can use lemon and coconut oil and then wash it off with your normal shampoo. It will really help you get rid of your normal dandruff. Hair fall, of course, fenugreek seed is the magic ingredient for hair, and we all know that. And since from early age we have been using it, so yes, fenugreek seeds and olive oil together can also make a very good oil for your scalp. Need for a good skin and hair care is very important, girls. So for a good hair and skin care, you need to exercise, you need to check on your allergies if you have any, you need to have a adequate amount of sleep, which is a proper sleep. Okay, your stress level should be managed properly, and your diet is very very important. What you intake is reflects on your hair and your skin. So make sure that you're eating what is required and how much is required, है ना? So that is what we have learned in today's session about hair. How are we supposed to take care of our hair? How are we going to keep our hair care routine? And how how are we going to take care of our hair care routine. And this is going to be something that you really need to understand, girls, that if we give time to our skin and hair, only then they are going to uh, give that pretty look to us. Nothing can see, even a child has to grow, it needs the help of the parents to grow till a point of time that they understand they are good and bad, right? In the same way, we are there to take care of our skin and hair, and no one else is going to come and do for us. No one is going to come and say, Are, come here, I'll do this for you. Are, come here, I'll apply a mask for you today. No, nobody is going to do that. So we ourselves have to understand it and start doing it from the day one. So if we have tackled a problem at an early stage, start working on it from that point of time itself. Don't wait for the condition to worsen and then go ahead for a treatment or something. Start doing it from day one so that you do not regret that the condition has got worse, है ना? So that is what I would encourage you all girls to do. If there are any questions, any doubts, please get back to me. I will be really happy to help you and clear all your doubts regarding this hair care session. Until then, take care, girls. Stay happy and stay beautiful, and do all your skin and hair care routines on time. And let me know how the results are. Till then, take care. Bye bye.